What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Shiba Inu's price has had quite the rough 24 hours, and a lot of people are wondering what is going on and what can we expect next. And so with that said, I'm going to try my best to answer those questions for you today. So with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. And guys, don't forget, if you do want to start trading a little bit of Bitcoin, Solana, Sweet, and many more today on all the way up to 500x leverage, you can use that BTCC link down below. If you do use my link specifically on this landing page, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means that if you deposit, say, $4,000, they're going to give you $400 on the spot to start trading with. Whatever profit you make from that $400 is all for you, no strings attached. This is literally an opportunity to make free gains during a bull market on a very good platform. So if you want to go check that out, of course, I will leave the link down there for you, and you can go check it out yourself. So before we start talking about what exactly Shib is doing right now, let's kind of go through a little bit of a journey together as to what has been happening for Shiba Inu. Now, as many of you know, of course, what we had tracked for quite some time was this descending channel and the breakout of this descending channel. I told you all, hey, once we see Shib's price break out of this descending channel, that's going to open up the door for Shib to start trying to make a move towards some of these more macro highs in pursuit of that all-time high. Now, as it was breaking out of that channel, it also started to create this inverse head and shoulders, which had a beautiful breakout towards the upside, in which I told you all that also opens the door for Shib to start pushing up towards these higher levels. And so over the last few weeks, I've told you, like, hey, I believe that this is where Shib's price is going. I think we're headed up towards these, 6, 0, 6, 5, 7 levels up here, but it's just going to be a matter of time. You have to remember that bull markets, and I say this like every video, but bull markets look like this until the end, which looks like this. And so while we're having these little moments where we're pulling back and we're seeing these little cooldowns, appreciate it, enjoy it. It means we very likely have more bull market in front of us. And then obviously, once the end of the bull market starts coming, it's going to look a lot more like this, and then it's just going to be GG. It's going to be all over from there, right? And so in these little moments, what we've been tracking and understanding is like, hey, look, we're going to get up here. I do believe that to be the case. I do think Shib's going to continue higher. I think that Shib easily could still put in another, 100 to 180% gains. We just need to make sure that we're taking the right sustainable steps to get there. Now, sustainable steps to get there have meant, quite simply, when we're breaking these key levels of resistance, we're coming back and we're back testing and we're finding support. We're building up foundations. We're using that foundation to flip resistance into support, right? Doing all of these things necessary to make these sustainable breakouts. And that's what we've been doing. I mean, look what happened back here, right? We had this high right here. We broke above that high, came back down, flipped that resistance from that high into support, used that support as a foundation to break towards the upside. We then had this high. We came back down a little bit, right? Not all the way exactly down to it, but we broke above that high, came back down, flipped that resistance into support, used that to break back into the golden box. And now we're towards the golden box, and we're starting to take some sustainable steps to try to break out of this thing as well. And so in these moments, although it feels stressful, it's actually a pretty damn good thing whenever you see something like Shiba Inu taking these sustainable steps, even though they do come with these little pullbacks. And so over the last few days and weeks, we've really just been tracking its progress at breaking through this golden box, breaking through this last level, because this opens up the door towards that breakout zone that we've identified a while back, which is, I think at minimum we can see Shib's price start trying to get back up towards 3.5 to 4.5, right? I think the breakout zone we established was 3.7 to 4.8, so getting up here. Now, in the last two videos, I told you, hey, this golden box is now the only thing we need to be worried about. I'm removing everything off the chart. Nothing else matters except for this golden box right here. And I told you I would keep you updated as we do make progress of trying to break out of this thing, and that's what we're going to do today. So now that you're fully caught up on what's been going on, what we're looking at, expecting from Shib, and much more, now let's dive into Shib's progress at breaking through this golden box and give you a bit of an update from yesterday. Now, I will warn you, some of the things I'm about to say now that we're about to move forward a little bit are going to be a little bit complicated and confusing, especially if you're newer to the space. So all I ask from you is if you are someone who is new to the space and you're just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, or if you're on the other side of the spectrum and you're already advanced, but you're just trying to add more tools to the toolbox, all that I ask you is to just stick around to the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing over in the Discord server, because all of these lessons and classes and coaches and signals and all of these things that we're providing here are generating our community hundreds of percentages in gains every single day. Even on days like yesterday, where everything was falling, we had members dropping 200, 100, 200, 300% gains on a consistent basis. So again, if you're someone who wants to just get better inherit this whole crypto thing, all I ask from you is to stick around at the end of the video. So again, now that you have a bit of an update there, let's jump more into what's happening now. So unless you live under a rock, you're obviously aware that Shib's price has really started pulling back with the rest of the market. Most of your market down anywhere from 15 to 20%, and of course Shib is down about 7 to 13% as a result of it. Now, as Shib's price has started to pull back, it's giving us a clear rejection off the top side of the golden box, meaning that the golden zone has now rejected us back towards the downside. What this implies to me is that this is going to be a battle, it's going to be a test, and it does validate that if Shib's price can inevitably break this golden box, it is going to be the door that we hope it is. Because, you know, this golden box acts like a wall or a door. Sometimes it's a wall and it's just going to reject you back to the downside, and it's going to make you go lick your wounds for a little bit. But eventually, if you're in a situation where you can gain enough momentum and break through it, especially after a rejection, oftentimes you can't see absolutely insane moves to what for Shib could be, you know, 100, 200, 300% to the upside. And so what we know, as I mentioned before, is now, okay, well, we've gotten rejected, so what does that mean? Well, knowing that, it means that we're going to have a battle and a test on our hands. What I believe that Shib's price is doing now, and what it's going to do next, is try to find a macro low. I believe what Shib's price is going to do is it's going to try to build up a higher low, a strong level of support, and use that support to try to break above the golden box. We see it all the time. You get up to the golden box, you get rejected off of it, you go back down, you find some support, you use that support to break through it. Now, from a more zoomed out perspective, that's what we saw from something like XRP, right? If you go back out here with XRP, look exactly what happened. This was over a year, so I don't think it would take this long, but you see how XRP's price came up to this red box, which is the golden box, same thing. It got rejected off of it, came back down, found the higher low, used that low to break through that. That's what I'm expecting from Shib, just in a much, you know, quicker fashion. It's not going to take years for this to happen. And so if that is the case, and if I am right, the only thing that we can do right now is get ready to maybe get beat up and kick down the stairs a little bit more, but of course to prepare for some purchases and just things like that, obviously, because it might get ugly, and again, we might just get beat up and the price might drop 10-20%, and that may just be what it may just be. But at the end of the day, if we can prepare for that and have an understanding that that could be on the way, then we can start to prepare to make gains as a result of it. So my current strategy now, knowing that Shib's price is in pursuit of a higher low, is to lay out the levels where it's the most likely that Shib's price finds some support. So what I'm going to look for are the most recent liquidity levels. These are levels where there are significant impact levels. We have one right here. You see how the level was kind of like this, and we went chop, 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 chop. Imagine you're chopping onions, right? Up and down, up and down. That's what we saw right here. That's a liquidity level. That's level number one for me. That is currently 2338. Okay. Now the next one is going to be at this recent high right here. So we can clearly see that there's a high around 2138. Well, that also does apply to that little recent high that was back there as well. So we have, of course, these two little resistance levels that also did make up the top side of the inverse head and shoulders. So we can just call it the top side of the inverse head and shoulders as your next key point of support. And then under that, of course, what I would then go ahead and do is draw in my macro Fibonacci to the downside and assign that bottom side support. This is like your minimum threshold. This is where you don't want to go through by any means, and that is between the 1674 and the 1372 levels. These are the levels where I believe that it is the most likely that Shib's price will try to build up some support and use that support to be able to bounce back to the upside. And so my current strategy is to actually put in some buy orders here. I'll be doing some pretty good buys, pretty good size buys if we can get Shib to go a little bit lower. I did buy a little bit of Shib yesterday. If we go to Insights with Tyler, I believe my team did buy it. Yeah, it was one of the first ones we picked up. I did buy a little bit of Shib yesterday, which is basically right around the price where we are now. That's around break even, but I do intend to buy a little bit more if we continue lower. If that lower level around the 2138 level is lost, I do think there's a decent sized chance Shib's price does start pulling back towards this next key level. There may be some sort of little micro Fibonacci here, right? As you can see here, we have this little golden box right here, so we could go ahead and say that there may be one more little micro support level. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to make this like more of a, you can't see it as much, I don't know what that word is, like a little bit of a more transparent line, I guess. We'll go ahead and do that and say there could be a little bit of support around 1892, but we would likely start getting magnetized towards this red box, which is your macro Fibonacci zone to the downside. And my current strategy is to sit back and wait. If Shib's price just needs to pull back a little bit before going for that eventual move towards the upside, I'm simply just going to allow it to happen. Let it burn. If it's going to burn, let it burn. Let it come back down, and I'm going to pick up a little bit here. I'll buy a little bit more the lower it gets. The lower it gets, I'll buy a little bit more and a little bit more, and ladder these purchases to be bigger and bigger and bigger, the lower that the price goes, being under the understanding that if it goes down towards these levels, it's becoming more and more likely that we do get this push to the upside. And so because of that, I'm in a good spot with Shib. Obviously, I don't want to see its price go down, but if that is what it's going to do, it's what it's going to do anyway. So there's no point in panicking about it and freaking out about it. Just allow whatever's going to happen and just ride it out, really. There are purchases that were made here. So say, for example, if Shib just holds this first support level and continues up, hey, fantastic, cool, no problem there. But if it does continue lower, I will be doing bigger and bigger purchases as it continues down in order to prepare for what I believe will be a higher low and an eventual continuation upward. So of course, as we do get more progress and as we can see more and more how Shib's price does react to these support levels, I'll let you know when it seems like it's becoming more and more likely that we do get to break to the upside. But I wanted to just kind of share today's video more, just letting you go, going over my game plan with you and letting you know what my thoughts are here so that you can start to set in your strategies as well. So of course, in the next coming days, I'll update you, probably a video tomorrow on what is going on now that its price is pulling back. But of course, I hope this strategy, little session is helpful for you. Let me know your thoughts down below and pay very close attention to this first key level of support right around 2338, because that is going to be the first test for Shib as its price does start coming down. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you were somebody who's just simply trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, what I want you to do is check out the Discord server. Now, in order to get access to the Discord server, guys, it is the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper, either $17 a month or $5 a month. And when you do sign up over on Patreon, in that link down below, you're going to get access to this Discord server, which comes with Insights with Tyler, where I give my thoughts and ideas and insights about things. Sometimes when I'm buying and selling, changes to my portfolio. Sometimes it's just general advice on things that I'm seeing in the market. You get daily technical analysis on your favorite cryptos every day. You get fundamental analysis on the actual market itself. We have 2 teams of professional traders who are posting their buy and sell signals every single day. And remember, these are pro teams. So all of they're living their livelihood in order for them to eat relies on them making good trades. So you can learn directly from them and see the things that they're doing. We just had Pro Trade Team 2 knock in a 136% gainer this morning, which was sweet. We have this exclusive show, Crypto Vault Live, every single day, Monday through Friday at 12, where Crypto Moses takes you through the market exclusively just for Discord members. We have premium classes on things like the Bollinger Bands, the Fibonacci, bull market investing. We have live workshops with coaches. We actually have one in 5 days, I believe. Yep, 5 days on December 15th, where we're going to be going a little bit deeper into altcoin investing. We have beginners courses on things like technical analysis for beginners, leverage trading for beginners. These are 30-minute long classes, guys, that go through all the basics. It has vocabulary, cheat sheets, 18-page presentation, 20-page presentations, all types of stuff. And then tips with Tyler, which are just these little 2-3 minute long videos on random things, such as how I take profits, setting up my Fibonacci's, and much more. Now, on top of all of that, you have access to the community, where premium members can ask questions directly to myself and some of the other 6 coaches in the server who answer them every single couple hours. And then of course, all of that has been contributing to building a community that is printing gains, because our whole goal is to cultivate a community of people who are trying to just get better at crypto. So all of these lessons we're teaching are developing into strategies for people, and these strategies are printing them hundreds of, this is just yesterday. On a terrible day like yesterday, people were still printing hundreds of percentages of gains, and that just goes to show the resiliency of the server. And so if you want to be somebody who is elevating like all of these people are, we have over 700 members just within the last month. So if you want to become part of that and you want to start printing some gains yourself, again, all that I ask from you is to just go check out that Discord server down below, because it is the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper, and I think that's great value. So of course, let me know what you think down below, and if you have been enjoying these videos every single day, 8, 9 videos a day, please do let us know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. But I do have a couple more videos planned for today, so make sure that you stay tuned for those, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.